Hey everybody, it's Jamie from No Getting Off This Train. Come along with me today as I meal prep some omelet cups, which are high in protein and freezer friendly. It's about that time of year when everybody wants to start eating healthy. Maybe it's the New Year's resolution. I try to set goals instead of resolutions because by mid-February, all of those resolutions fall to the wayside. So instead, I try to do little things at a time. And sometimes that means making a huge batch of a recipe and freezing it for later to save me a whole bunch of time and money. Eggs are a really good and cheap source of protein, and I love making things with them, especially these omelet cups. Now I'm trying somewhat of a new recipe today, so we're going to see how this goes together. I'm blending most of it together in a blender and then putting them in muffin tins and then baking them in the oven. And this is going to give me breakfast for over a week. I've got all the ingredients laid out right now, so let's get started. All right, here's what we've got going on here. Now, the base recipe for omelet cups is just eggs and milk and then seasoning like salt and pepper or whatever. But besides that, you could add whatever else that you want. For a veggie omelet cup, you can add whatever vegetables you want. So I have some chopped up spinach here and some chopped green peppers. But you could use different colored bell peppers. You could add some onion. You could even put in some broccoli. I just like to make sure they're chopped up really small, just so that they'll fit pretty good in those omelet cups. So also, in addition to the vegetables, I have cottage cheese, which adds a whole bunch of protein to this. And then I am putting feta in here because I was just wanting some feta. Usually you could add some shredded cheddar or whatever other favorite cheeses. And then my favorite seasoning is this Creole seasoning because I just think it's awesome. But you could use regular salt and pepper. You could add garlic powder, onion powder. Really, this recipe is very forgiving. Now, what I'm going to do first, actually, I'm doubling the recipe. So I'm going to take a blender and I'm going to put the eggs, the milk, and the cottage cheese and the seasoning in the blender. That way it gets all mixed up, and then I'll add everything else. All right, again, I am doubling the recipe. A single recipe would call for 8 eggs, so I'm going to use 16. Next up, we'll add a cup of milk. And by the way, the full recipe is in the description. So if you want an actual printable version, you can check it out down below. So I've got the milk, and then next I'm going to add some cottage cheese. Again, cottage cheese is a great source of protein. I used to eat cottage cheese straight up every single day. And for some reason, I stopped. And I don't really know why, but I still like it. I'm just going to start adding it into recipes now. All right, I've got 2 cups in here. And then lastly, I'll add my Creole seasoning. And then again, you could add whatever you want, garlic powder, salt, pepper, anything else that you like. So Allison is sleeping right now. It's 8:40 in the morning and she's still on winter break. I'm going to try to pulse this as quietly as I can. So Allison, I am so sorry. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now, honestly, you don't have to use the blender for this. I usually just whisk it in a large bowl. But since I have cottage cheese, some people don't like the chunky texture of cottage cheese, and so they'll just blend it in the blender. So that's what I am doing today. So I got the vegetables, and then now I'll go ahead and add the entire container of feta. And from here, I'll just use a spatula to mix it all together. I mean, if you don't like the consistency or texture of vegetables either, you could blend the vegetables in. It'd be fine. There's a chance you may have to cook it for a little bit longer because there's more liquid in it, but it's okay. I was excited to try something new. So I got these silicone muffin liners from Amazon and they just came in the other day. So I just washed them and they're ready to go. So I love making things in muffin tins, but I hate the cleanup afterward because those things are so hard to clean. So I got these hoping that this will help with the cleanup process. So I'm hoping these will actually work, that I can like remove the food from these pretty easily. So we're gonna find out. I've got an affiliate link down in the description if you wanna check these out for yourself. These are just like the Amazon Basics brand. So let's put them in the muffin tins and see how they work. These are such cute colors too. So funny story, when Allison was a toddler and in her I don't want to eat anything stage, I actually bought these and like cut up her food into cute little shapes, and I would put them in these and put them on her plate. And I don't know what it was, maybe it's the color, maybe it's just because it was something new and different, but she actually started eating her food. So I continued to use them up until she was like 4 or 5 or something like that. And then she outgrew them. And then I got rid of these, which was probably a mistake, but I hadn't used them in years. And now that I'm tired of cleaning the muffin tins, I bought them again. Okay, so let me grab a plate to set this on. The blender has a convenient thing here to help pour, and I am probably going to make a mess. I don't know. Yeah, probably. These are supposed to make 12. Each recipe is. Okay, I don't think that's going to work because I'm going to get all egg and no vegetables. All right, we will use a 1/4 cup measuring cup instead. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so anyway, again, this recipe is supposed to make 12 of these, but with the muffin liners, I may not be able to fit as much in them as I usually could. So we'll see how many I end up with. If I have any extra mix, I may have to do a couple of rounds of this. All right, I'm still making a mess, but that is part of cooking, I guess. I love making things like this too because they freeze really well, and I'll show you how to freeze them after they're done cooking. But yeah, they're super easy to cook, they're easy to freeze, and it's easy to double because really you're buying all the ingredients anyway. It doesn't take a whole lot of extra money to buy the extra ingredients, and it really doesn't take any more effort either. Okay, I think I put all the vegetables in the other muffin cups, and now I've got pretty much all egg. I may have to change that. Okay, I'm going to take a spoon here. I'm going to grab some of the vegetables and move them over. I mean, it's not a big deal. Okay, so this is how much of the mixture I have left. I might be able to now go ahead and pour a little bit more in each one. I don't really want to fill it completely to the top. Some of them I have already, but it'll defeat the purpose. Like if the egg mixture like starts seeping inside the muffin tin, and the goal here is not to have to scrub at the muffin tins. All right, well, I still have some mix left. I'm just gonna have to do another round with these. So the oven is preheated to 375, and I'll bake these for probably 17 or 18 minutes, and then those should be done. Okay, they are finally done, at least the majority of them. So I originally put them in for 17 minutes and it ended up taking closer to like 25 or 26 minutes. And I wonder if that has to do with these guys. Maybe they just are a little bit taller, and so it takes a while for the middles to cook fully. So I've got the other ones in for like 2 more minutes because one of them is still not cooked yet. But let me let these rest for a few minutes and then we will try to take them out. Now that these have cooled to room temperature, we can now freeze these. So what I have here is a baking sheet that has parchment paper on top. So all you do is place the omelet cups on the baking sheet like this. And this is called flash freezing, which is where you freeze them in like a single layer, just like this. And then once they're completely frozen, you can then put them in a gallon-sized freezer bag. You want to make sure they're frozen like this first, because if you put them in the freezer bag, they're all going to freeze in one big clump, and it's going to be a lot harder to get them, get all the individual ones out. So what you would do once they're frozen, you would take a gallon-sized freezer bag and you'll label it with the date and then whatever it is. So you'll write down omelet cups. Now, freezer meals will typically stay fresh for up to 3 months. They are still safe to eat after that, but the longer they're in the freezer, the bigger risk you get of freezer burn. So you'll eat these within 3 months anyway. But yeah, that's how you freeze them. So each individual omelet cup has about 91 calories, 8 grams of protein, and about 3 grams of carbs. You would eat, you can choose how many you want to eat, but typically you would eat 3, 2, 3, 4, depending on how hungry you are. And the cost of just the single recipe, not doubled, but just single, is $5.70. So that's a pretty cheap breakfast. You could probably eat from it for 4 to 5 days. If you feel like you need more food than just this, then you could add maybe like a whole wheat English muffin or a bagel to go with it, maybe a homemade muffin. I've been eating mine with some whole wheat English muffins, and then I bought some hot honey butter from Jungle Gems. I've been putting that on top of the muffin as well, and it is amazing. Or you could just serve it alongside some fruit, whatever you want to do. But this is a super easy and healthy meal prep breakfast, and I highly recommend you guys try this too. So leave me a comment and tell me, if you make things like this, what are some of your favorite add-ins? As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you later. Are you looking for easy dinners to feed your busy family? Click the link in the description to grab a free recipe book with 10 simple and delicious dinners that my family loves. Download it now and tell me what you think.